Hello guys, this is Riccardo Berdini. We're here for Magic of the Mind. This is our first podcast episode and I have a special guest. Today we're going to talk about motivations, what motivate us to achieve great goals in our life, and I couldn't ask for a better guest than my good friend Aaron Anastasi.
Happy to be here.
Oh, Aaron, thank you so much for being here. It's very important because it's my first podcast. I've never done it before, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen today.
Me too.
Podcast is beautiful. We have to chat 1 hour about the things we love the most. Now, I ask you to be here today because you're a good friend. We met in acting school because you are, amongst many things, you are also a successful actor. But I ask you to be here today especially because you are a motivational coach. And you wrote 2 amazing books that I read both. I have one of them here with me because the other book that I had, I lent it?
Lent it out, yeah.
I lent it out to a good friend who saw it and wanted to read it. But Your Prosperous Mind by Aaron Anastasi. Aaron, do you want to talk a little bit about your life as a personal coach? There are so many things to talk about. But let's start with your life. You're a personal coach. You wrote 2 successful books. Tell us a little bit about your book, your work, and generally what you think about how important it is to coach people and to coach your mind. A very general question.
Yeah. Where to start? Yeah. So, why did I write the books? Okay. So let me just start a little bit with my story. I was at a place in my life where I'd had some successes. I wasn't like a total schlep, but I knew that I wasn't living anywhere near my potential, and I wasn't really motivated. I was broke. I was in a relationship that was kind of just like stagnant, and
I think we can all relate with a situation like that.
Yeah,
being broke, being in a not good relationship, it happened to everyone sooner or later.
Yeah,
and then what happened?
I was just in LA for a little while at the time, maybe a year or 2 at the time. And I started working with a coach, so why a coach is important. For me, I started working with a coach. I didn't actually realize it was a coach. I didn't even know what a coach was at the time, really. I knew what like a basketball coach was, for example, but not like a life coach or a success coach.
And that's the problem of a lot of people, especially in my country. I'm Italian, for those who don't know who I am. And in Italy, there's a lot of, skepticism towards coach and life coach, because why does anybody has to help me with my mind? I'm not sick, I'm not stupid, but it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's way more.
Oh yeah, I mean the Harvard Business Review, they did a study, and they saw that people who use coaches were 5 times more successful in their impact and in their income. So there's a lot of science behind that. So at the time I started working with this guy, he was just kind of like a mentor. That's what I just thought at the time. I thought it was just a mentor.
Makes sense.
He was a coach, and after a year of working with this guy, I was making 6 figures. I married the woman. I'm still married. We've been married 10 years now.
Wow.
So it's already been 10 years.
Who is this guy? Can I ask you the name?
His name was Adrian. Yeah.
Adrian. Well, good Adrian. He did good for you.
In fact, my first book, this is Your Prosperous Mind, but my first book is called The Voice of Your Dreams, and I dedicated it to him because he had such a profound impact on my life. So it was like, and then I started really going light years toward my dream of being an actor. I was always like too afraid to pursue that.
So basically, he helped you in your career, and then you became a coach. And then you became also an actor, right? That's the path that you did. So what was your job? How did he help you to make 6 figures a year, you just said?
Yeah, so it wasn't like he was a consultant, and he wasn't like, here's how you make money and here's how you do this. It was more of like getting a big vision of what I wanted for my life, and then now how do we break that down into take this vision out of the future, right? We have these fantasies and these visions and these goals and these dreams, and they're way out there, and he helped me to take it out of the future, pull it into the present moment, turn my dream, kill my dream. What I mean by that is kill it, get it away from being a dream and turn it into a project.
Reality.
Turn it into a project so that you can have something to do today to actually create it and turning it into a reality. So doing that, then I created, we've discussed a little bit, I created something called Superior Singing Method, and that was wildly successful. And so there's a bunch of different ways that I made money, but then also I started coaching. Once I apprenticed under him for a couple of years. He's like, you should take on clients, you're good at this. And then my clients started having the radical results that I did, and then I was like, these principles are so great, everybody needs to know these. So that's actually why I wrote the couple of books, because I'm like, people need to know about this. This is like, it's like magic. It really is.
Yeah. So it was so let's say that the first thing that you did help you to make money, to establish your work life, was the superior singing method.
Yeah.
So can you explain us very fast what it is? Superior singing method is a method of singing, successful singing that you created, right? And developed.
Yeah. I've typically been a very slow learner. And what happens when you're a slow learner is you don't skip any of the steps along the way. You have so many failures. You're doing every single step, and it takes forever to become successful. But what happens is you learn every step of the way how to do it, what it takes. And so I retrospectively, I'm like, how did I actually learn this? And so I broke all that down, and I created what's called Superior Singing Method. And it's still, it's an online it's an online singing lesson program that we started with. We had a YouTube channel that's blown up and it's big now, but the main thing is the course of teaching people how to sing online.
And you have a successful YouTube channel with more than 200,000 subscribers. How many? 700.
Yeah. Between our two channels, it's 700,000 subscribers. I think like 50-something million views or something.
All right. All the information is going to be listed below, by the way, so everybody can reach out to you if they want to. Okay, this is an incredible example of someone that turns his life, and transforms his life in 1 year. You say that happened.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I kept progressing over the years, but within 1 year, I was like broke to making six figures. I was in a stagnant relationship to being in a thriving marriage that has lasted 10 years and still thriving. And from not pursuing, being scared to pursue acting, to actually now really, getting into the industry and starting to. I hadn't booked in the first 10 years, but I was on the way.
This is amazing. And the fact that I've known you for a long time, and I saw part of this journey, and I saw the incredible improvement that you did. You said that you're a slow learner. That's interesting, because I'm the opposite. I'm a fast learner. But being a fast learner doesn't help sometimes, because the fact that I learned so fast to do a lot of things, and I'm then become so good in doing those things, it makes, I'm dispersive. You know myself. You know me very well. Yeah. The risk is that you can do too many things, and the fact that you do it so easily makes you feel like it's easy to do that thing. Yeah. But the fact that it's easy for you doesn't mean that it's easy. So sometimes I don't value my skills because, that's easy.
Anybody could do that.
Anybody can do
it,
right?
You think, because it was easy for you.
But listen, so today we're talking about motivations, because I'm an hypnotist, I'm a mentalist, I'm a magician, I'm a filmmaker, you know me, I'm a writer. Me like you, we're good friends because we're multi-talented and yet completely different. Again. Yeah. Okay, we're very different, but we're multi-talented. We do a lot of things. And in this world, it's a little bit risky to do too many things, and sometimes I feel that I'm doing too much. Yeah. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Sometimes I'm like, hey, my greatest dream is to become a director, but at the same time I want to be an actor, and I want to be a successful musician, and a successful mentalist, and now I want to have a podcast, and now, so many things. Yeah. So, there are many things that we can talk about today, especially with you. You for sure you'll be back, because we could talk for like 7 hours straight about everything. But I want to know what motivates you first to make a change in your life, to hire a coach. What was the strongest thing that motivated you from a mindset point of view to make that decision, a decision that changed your life completely?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was the catalyst for wanting it. So it's two different things, right? There was a catalyst for wanting it, and then there was the thing that actually got me to do it, right? So the catalyst for wanting it was the pain point of like feeling like a failure, feeling like I'm not living up to my potential, feeling like I was rudderless. I didn't really know what I wanted or where I was going to go. So the pain of that was just like, I need to figure something out. And what really, it was this coaching, but the first thing about this coaching was getting very crystal clear about what my big why was. Like, what's my why for living? What's my why for life? And once I realized the main thing that I want to do in life is to motivate people to reach their dreams while I pursue and reach my own dreams. So that once that became my big why, then Superior Singing Method was an offshoot of that. So it's like helping people reach their dreams of singing, right? So when I'm pursuing my dream of acting, and then the books were like helping people to be able to change their minds so that they can reach their dreams. And I don't want to be just like try and motivate people and I'm not doing my thing. I want to pursue my dreams so that not only are my words motivating and like I can coach you, but hey, look, Aaron's doing the thing. He's practicing what he preaches. He's failing over and over and failing forward over and over. So it's like I'm in the arena with you and we're going after our dreams together. And so that big why became clear. So everything, I don't do anything that doesn't fit under that umbrella.
Yeah, you talk with a lot of terms that I read in your books that maybe could not be easy to understand for certain people, because you're now so good and so specific in coaching. You have so many clients, and now coaching has become a huge part of your life and your career, as much as a Superior Singing Method, and as much as acting. Because then the incredible thing is that I also saw you becoming slowly a successful actor in Hollywood, and we know how much it's hard. And now you have roles in many TV shows, and you're nailing so many auditions. And we met in an acting class together, and you were not that good.
I wasn't.
And it's incredible the progress that you did. And I saw people way more talented than you that couldn't make 1% of what you've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not saying you're not talented.
No, it goes into exactly what we were talking about. I tend to be a slow learner at first, and so what has helped me to be successful, like measurable success. What is success? But like measurable success, I've been on a bunch of TV shows or whatever that you can measure that success. Yeah. To me, it's about grit. It's not about talent for me personally. So
it's about hard work, and put and create a method in your mind, a practical method where you can see actual practical results instead of just wanting to do something and maybe try to do it in many ways, try to do the short way instead of the long way. Mm-hmm. I think it's about finding practical tips and practical way to do it. And am I right?
No, absolutely. For me, what I've found is that I am the tortoise in the hare. I'm the plotter. I stay consistent, and my training, I constantly put myself in a position of challenge where I could fail and get feedback and get better. Fail, get feedback, and get better. So yes, it's about hard work, and yes, it's about consistency, and yes, it's about 10,000 hours and all that stuff. But it's also about deliberate practice, meaning putting yourself in a situation daily over and over where there's challenges above what you can do, and you can fail and get feedback and learn why and do that and be in that state. And it's humiliating, and it takes a lot of humility to do that. But in that deliberate practice, then then the growth over time becomes really big.
And you just say it's humiliating. Now that's a feeling that a lot of people don't like to experience.
Yeah.
They don't like to experience failure.
Yeah.
They don't like to experience a humiliation. Yeah. Look, I just started to play soccer again.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah.
With my friends. Mm-hmm. We play every Thursday night, and at the beginning we were so bad. I haven't played in like 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was 33 at the time. I'm almost 40, so a big change even in the body, in the way your body reacts.
For sure.
It was humiliating at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
And even though how many times with the guys we were like, you know what? I mean, what the hell are we doing? Come on, let's just stop. Let's not doing that. It's pointless. It's actually, of course, there's a moment where you want to drop, where you want to go down, where you want to stop doing what you were doing, because the experience of failure and to be humiliated, it's something that everyone needs to feel before doing something great. You need to. You cannot. You have to experience that. And the problem is that many people surrender in that moment.
Yeah.
Maybe I did it also in my life. Now I don't have a practical moment that comes into my mind, but I'm sure that in something I wanted to do, I felt humiliated, I felt like a failure, and I drop it.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody, but I always noticed in my life that's the moment that sometimes I don't want to go out at night. You know, we're invited to a certain premiere or to a certain party or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to go tonight. But I feel inside. It's a silly example, of course, but it happens even in the small things in life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, inside I feel that I should go because I know that the night is important. There are certain people that I should do good networking with, or I haven't been out and I need to go out because I've been working so much, so I need a little more. Every time I have a doubt, and instead of staying home, I go out. That's the moment that something magical has happened in my life. Yeah. Every time. It's like incredible. And every time I have this feeling, I should not go tonight, the moment I think about it, I'm like, oh, wow, that means that tonight something great is going to happen. Bam! It happens all the time. So that's a feeling that we can find that feeling in so many things in life, from the smallest thing to the biggest things, and it's necessary. I love the feeling of being humiliated. I love the feeling of failure. If you're smart and you put your ego aside, and that's a big problem, the ego, because we all are proud and we don't want to feel like that. And natural instinct is to feel wrong, right?
Yeah.
If you put that feelings aside and you work with your mind, trying to detach a little bit from the emotions, which is very hard. I understand it's very hard, but hey, if you want to be a good man, a good person, not only good, right, a successful person, if you want to achieve good things, you have to put emotions aside sometimes. And putting those emotions aside, then you can think logically, analyze logically the situation you're in, and figure out the best solution. And the best solution is, you know what? I will keep going. I'll keep going because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Then if you don't want to keep going, it's because it was not the right thing to do. Maybe sometimes, you understand that's not my path. But that's another situation. That's also an outcome that may happen. But we're not talking about that outcome. Now we're talking about an outcome where you are in your path, you have a dream, there's something good that you can do, you have to do it, and that moment of despair, the moment of being down. So I think something that can motivate you, me, everybody, to get better, to overcome that moment of despair and failure, is to just detach from your emotions, analyze the situation from the outside, try to think logically and not emotionally. I hope I'm speaking correctly in English.
Yeah.
Well, I've learned from you. Reading your books was very helpful from a grammar point of view. And finally, get to the point that is the right thing for you to do.
Yeah, that brings up a couple of things for me. The first one is, just to summarize what we were saying before, it's like, that I talk about in one of my books, is you got to be willing to suck at something and hold on and suck at something for long enough, and that humiliation for a breakthrough to occur. Because a breakthrough will occur, but you are going to suck for longer than you want to, I promise. But a breakthrough will also be there. And then what you're talking about with detaching from emotions, there's one of the chapters in one of my books is it's called The Machine. And the story behind this machine, it's basically we're saying, so when I was in college, I had a massive heartbreak. My first massive heartbreak tour. It absolutely broke me. And I wept. I know this sounds crazy and very well might be crazy. Is I wept nearly 24 hours a day. I would wake up in sobs for almost 2 months. It petered off over that time, but it was an experience that I've never had anything like that, probably because I bottled my emotions up until that period of time. So it was like this breakup tapped into all that. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying this to say I realized that I was an emotional absolute basket case, but I also had these visions and goals of doing well in school. And so I just I didn't detach from my emotions that I wasn't willing to experience my emotions. I was like, I know I'm still going to experience this, but the detachment part and the shutting down of the emotions was, I decided there's a machine part of me that I could just decide. So I decided I don't feel like nothing matters to me except this relationship. Nothing emotionally. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to still work out every day. I'm going to go to class every day. I'm going to go to the library and study this much time. I said, here are the things I'm going to do even though I don't feel like it at all. at all, because nothing matters to me, because I'm so heartbroken. I was in such grief that those things didn't matter at the moment. But I had the wherewithal, the machine part of me could see forward and say, I know that if I continue to do these things, once they do matter to me again, which I'm sure they will sometime in the future, I'll be glad that I just steady plodded forward and lived by commitment and not emotions for this time. That was the machine part of me living by
you are
commitment.
a machine, though. You know that. Because sometimes I'm a machine from another point of view, but I don't know if I would be able to do that. So kudos to you, man.
I appreciate that. That was actually the nickname that people gave me in college, which is
the
where
machine?
which is where it came from. Yeah, I don't know if I'm proud of that or not, but
yeah, but it's, you see, so what motivates you in this? Because even before you were talking about the why.
Yeah,
we're a little bit scattered in the way we're talking about, but I think that people is following pretty well at the same time. I hope so. So you talk about the why. You describe it that well in the book. So what motivates you to be so determined, to be such a machine, and to make sure that you stick to your plan? Because that's also another thing that's very hard. Like, for me, it's very hard sometimes. I stick to a plan.
Yeah.
And then I still get it where I want, but I'm not able to stick to the plan.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? So I try to figure it out. A plan, I would say. It's a schedule.
Yeah.
A schedule or a plan. But my mind doesn't work for that. And even if I put all my will or all my effort to do it, usually I don't stick it more than 2-3 days, and then I go back to the way I was living, and I figure out another way to achieve what I want.
Sure.
So I want to learn to finally stick to the plan.
Yeah.
I want to do that, but it's so hard, and I'm sure it's so hard for everyone. So how do you find your why? Because maybe it's the why that I'm missing. Maybe it's the motivation again.
Yeah.
What's behind? Now let me tell you, before you answer to this question, remember this question, but when we were in the streets in the Walk of Fame today, and I was just interviewing a couple of people to see simple question like what motivates you in life? Why do you do what you do? Now, some people told me family. So my family motivates me. That's a beautiful question, beautiful answer. Very simple.
Yeah.
Other people told me love, because they were in love, and love wins everything. So you do the things for your love, you do the things for the people you love. It's similar to family, but you can love people outside your family, so it's not only about that. So another person told me money. So the fact to become rich, the idea of becoming rich, of becoming successful and financial successful, it's such a huge motivation for them. I'm not a fan of this, because I believe the money has to be a consequence and not the reason why we do what we do.
Sure.
But I'm also religious, like you are. So maybe our education is a little bit more spiritual.
Yeah.
I know that saying I'm religious in this country nowadays can be scare some people, but I guarantee you I'm not an extremist, crazy, person that does weird things in the name of Jesus. Okay, I try to be like you, because I know you are too.
Yeah.
I try to be just a person that follows beautiful principle in the best way possible.
Like Jesus said, summed it all up. Love God and love people. I'm like, okay, I can get down with that one. I can get down with that one 2-part rule.
We have to be, because we're living weird times, and I notice in this country, unfortunately, there's a lack of balance from this point of view.
Sure.
And there's a really extremist point of view that unfortunately shows a very bad side of religion. So I want to make sure that people don't have the right idea of ourselves when we talk about our faith. But so the why could be also, I have a huge faith. I have my religion. My religion motivates me to behave in a certain way, to do certain things. Like what's the why? What's the motivation that pushed you so much to become the machine that you're able to do? Because I really want to try to be like you, man.
Yeah, for me, I had a mentor in my 20s. And he drilled into me. Actually, Jocko talks a lot about this and has a book about it now. But even early on in life, he said to me, "Discipline equals freedom," and that had such a radical.
Wait. That's a great phrase.
Yeah.
Discipline equals freedom.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, me included, for a long time I thought that discipline is the opposite of freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. See, the misunderstanding, and my misunderstanding at the time, was that I thought freedom was I do whatever I want whenever I want. But what I discovered is doing whatever you want whenever you want leads to addiction and oftentimes to incarceration. Whereas discipline, because now I'm a freedom addict, and so I know that the way to get to freedom is through discipline. And so to me, discipline is not about the discipline. I am a disciplined person, but it's only because what I want for the result. So I want enjoyment in life. Okay, so if I want financial freedom, I want relational freedom, I want career freedom, I want freedom in my dreams. I want to be able to have those types of results in my life. And I know that discipline is what helps me get there. So for me, my big why is like, okay, choose whatever your why is. For me, it's I'm the number one box office star in all of Hollywood, a series lead on a gritty HBO drama, and I'm a highly paid actor, consistently working in top Hollywood TVs and films. So these are my goals. These are my bigger goals. So all of my small short-term goals are based on these big goals. So then I bring that back. So what does it take to do that? Okay, so I'm in class and I study acting every day. I train acting every day. I work out every day. It's like, what are the things that if I do this here, it leads to that big goal? So I take that big goal and I break it down into some shorter term goals. So right now...
Okay, that's something that is very practical.
Okay, yeah.
Taking the bigger goals and divided it into... how did you describe them, sorry?
Yeah, breaking them into shorter term goals. So you have the long-term goals, the long-term bigger goals, and you have the short-term, what I call process goals. These are process goals that are going to, not inevitably, but most likely lead to these bigger dreams and visions. And it's practical, and it's plotting, and it's daily. And so that's what keeps me motivated. I'm like, I want that out there. And so what I do is all these plans that I have, these process goals, I'm like, okay, I think to get there, I'm going to try this. So I do this for a while, and then I look up and I see, am I getting closer to that aim? Oh yeah, I just booked these 2 TV shows, so I think this is working, so I'm going to keep doing this. And for a while, and then I come back up, is this working? Actually, I think I'm going to shift this one over here a little. Oh yeah, so it's like...
Okay, so what happens when these little goals don't happen? Like if something...
Oh, if you don't do the process, if you don't work on the process goals?
No, you work on the process, but the small goal don't arrive. You can score the goals. I don't know how you say in English.
Yeah, yeah.
What happened? Because it can happen that even the small goal that you set in your mind, maybe you don't get to that.
Yeah, yeah. So the same mentor that I was telling you about, his name's Andy Stanley. He also one of the things that he said had a profound impact on me too. Is he says that visions don't change, but plans change often.
Absolutely, I love that.
Yeah, so
I'm a huge fan of this.
So it's okay that the plans change. Like I have the big goal, the big vision, even like the medium-sized vision or whatever. But the plans to get there, I'm going to try a bunch of different things, and it's like, oh, this seems to be working better, so I'm going to do this. And shifting plans happens kind of a lot because you're like, I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to figure out how to do it. And once you start getting some traction, you're like, okay, I'm going to double down on this. But the vision didn't change, but the figuring out that, okay, so I know how to keep my body in shape. So every day I work out every single day because I know this works. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do I want? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when a goal doesn't, even a small goal doesn't score, do you say like that? A goal doesn't score? Okay,
yeah, it just doesn't come to pass. It's not realized. It's not,
so when you don't realize, when you don't realize a goal that you set up in your mind, even a small one, you just change...
2 things.
Yeah.
It's usually only 2 things. It's one of 2 things. The first one is not enough time has gone by. That's often what it is because people get impatient and they want to do something else. But it's either not enough time has gone by or your system is flawed. And your plan is flawed. So your system is flawed. So if I want to become an actor and I come to Hollywood and I'm like, I'm going to go on Hollywood Boulevard and I'm going to do skits and I'm going to talk to people and I'm going to see if I can become an actor.
And a producer is going to find me.
And a producer is going to find me. Right? So it's like, it's fine, but people come out, they're naive or what. The point
is not a good system.
It's just the wrong system.
I got it.
It's not a stupid person. It's not an untalented person. It's just a system that doesn't work. So you find the system that works.
Well, correct. It's a little stupid person too.
Well, it is, but we're all a little stupid at first when we're pursuing our dream, right? But yeah, so we just shift our system. So once you find the right system and it works, you stick to it, and then it's usually just a matter of time, and it's usually more time than you want it to be. That's just how it is for all of us. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. We think it's like we want to take this giant leap into our future, but it's little by little, a little becomes a lot.
Yeah, let me tell you how much I like what you just said about changing path right away, changing the system. as a magician, and I keep saying magician because I'm a mentalist actually.
Yeah.
But mentalism is part of magic, the way I see it. So.
And some people don't understand what a mentalist is, but they know what a magician is.
Yeah, exactly. So I used to say magician, while I'm actually more a mentalist because the magic of the mind is the thing that really I love it. It captivated. It became a hobby, and then became my way to make money in the States, which was like a miracle. And life always drives you into the path that you're destined to take. Because I started doing magic when I was 33 years old. I never touched a deck of cards before, so this is crazy. But that's a demonstration of changing your system, changing your path, not being afraid of understanding. Okay, you know what? Maybe what I did until now, it doesn't work. I can start again.
Yeah.
Whether it's changing completely your life path, or just changing a little system. Maybe you wanted to reach that goal. It was not working. If you analyze what was not working, it was the system.
Yeah.
Probably the system you were using.
Yeah.
And one thing that I love about magic, and why am I such a successful magician, and I'm very proud to say that, because I am very successful as a magician. I would have never even imagined to become a magician. Trust me, I would have never imagined to become a successful magician in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
One of the hardest places in the world.
It's incredible.
And it's the ability, while I'm doing a routine, while I'm doing a performance, in the moment, to change completely in that moment what I'm doing. Because according to the person I have in front of me, I have to change the outcome of a trick, the outcome of an experience. Because maybe that person, I can feel that is very hard, is very skeptic, or maybe I understand that something that I'm doing could offend that person. Because magic is also risky sometimes. And today everybody get offended by anything, so you have to be very careful not offending people. And sometimes people get offended by things that you cannot really imagine. And if I have a hint that what I'm doing, that someone can feel that I'm too touchy, or someone can feel that I'm too, and I have to touch people, because in order to read their mind, that I touch a lot of the wrist, the shoulders. I need to touch people too. Yeah. Touching each other in my work, in my job, of course, in a proper way, is very important, because. But we will talk in another episode about that. But I have to change ways. I have to change path right away. And I'm lucky, because I'm very open-minded, and I've learned early in my life to change completely everything whenever you need. Even when we discuss to people, I notice that you talk to your friends, you talk to someone about a topic. Movies, you talk about, music, you talk about sports. Politics is a little bit hard, because no one changes their mind with politics, unfortunately. But having the ability to change your opinion, if you notice that what you're saying is not right anymore because someone else proved you wrong, that would make, if everyone would be able to do that, that would make this life, this world, so much better. So much better. And it's such a simple thing to say, like I'm doing. And it's very hard to find people that do that. Even for ourselves, I'm sure. Well, I'm proud that I'm able to do that very much, because I don't care about me being rightful, but I'm always looking for the truth. So if you show me that my truth was wrong, I don't care. I don't care. I want to find the truth. So if in a moment I realize your truth is way more truthful than mine, come on. Ciao, Riccardo's truth. Welcome to Aaron's truth. So this kind of elastic mindset, open mindset, unfortunately, is very, very hard to have. Because that would help you to achieve way more in life, to have way better relationships in life. Romantic, or friendship, work relationship. But that's part of this process of having an elastic mind and being able to, if you're able to change your opinion that fast, you're able then to, in my opinion, to change the system very fast, as soon as you realize that system was wrong. And I know that this is hard, because we come from good families. We had good education. That's 99% of the way, of I would say the inner self happiness of somebody. Because having a good family, being raised in a good way, being raised in a happy way, is essential to make you very open-minded, very I don't want to say smart, because everyone is smart, but very relaxed and not tight on you, on your opinion. You're not hurt that much like other people, because when people is hurt, my friend, yeah, we can find any way to be motivated in life by everything, but when you're hurt, and hurt closed our mind a lot, and we become more emotional, as we were saying before. So, I mean, I'm talking always from my perspective, from my experience, and I'm very happy that I'm so open-minded.
Yeah.
Very happy, and I'm very blessed. But at the same time, it was almost easy for me, I think, because you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. Just the principle of the being a learner, being a seeker, and having the humility to self-reflect, and even asking when people ask me, because I love my wife and we have a beautiful relationship. Like I said, we've been married 10 years, and so people ask me, oh, what do you what works for you guys? And the one thing that I usually say is that I always have this question when it comes to my wife, because my wife is also, she's amazing and brilliant, so it's not hard for me to get there, but I always think the thought, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm wrong? And it's not a sense of like, what if I'm wrong, and self-doubt. It's not self-doubt. It's a in confidence.
Well, you know that if you talk to your wife, you're always wrong, no matter what. I mean.
It's true. No, but really, like, what if I'm wrong, and where might I be wrong? That question of like, it's the learner's question of constantly being able to learn, because speaking of success, the world is changing so fast. If we're not learners and we're not able to pivot fast, it's hard to be successful.
Especially at our age.
Yeah.
Because we are you're way older than you show, so I don't want to say your age. Otherwise,
I'm a vampire.
Yeah, you're crazy. I mean, I don't want to say how old are you, but you're like 10 years more than me, even more.
Yeah.
Way more. And we look the same age. But at our age, we live in a society that changed so fast in the past 20 years. When I was 20. And now, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like the technological revolution that we are living, it's very hard for our mind to keep up with that, because I think that normally someone would have seen the changes that we see in 1 year in their lifetime.
Seriously.
So it's insane. Yeah. So that's it. Sorry, keep going. But
yeah, no, just being a learner, and it goes back to humility that we talked about, of not like, I'm right and this is right and this is the only way, but being a learner and being open, like, what am I wrong? Where am I wrong? What am I missing? And it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with feedback. Success to me is putting yourself in a situation. What is ultimate success is like putting yourself in a situation where this challenge is more than your skill, and then there's some sense of failure, and you get some immediate feedback. You see, okay, what am I doing wrong, and how can I fix it? And you fix it. So there's that change. It's that humility and that learner, yeah, totally. and the feedback, and it takes a lot of humility to be able to take feedback, and to change.
That's important. The feedback. Yeah. So regarding feedback, like for example, with my partner Nick Cardiff, we write scripts, and because we sign new scripts sometimes, yeah, we love to get feedbacks, because without the feedbacks we don't grow. And that we were not good writers back in the days, and now we're selling script in Hollywood and things are going great. So I have to tell you, I think that the feedbacks did 50% of the total amount of growing that we had in the past years. It was so important to be humble, to get those feedbacks. And by the way, humble doesn't mean that because sometimes there's misconception. Sometimes people tell me, "Oh, you're not humble, Ricky." I disagree. I'm very self-confident, but I'm humble because I want to learn all the time.
Those two things can coexist. Yeah,
the two things can coexist.
Yeah.
And this is to open a parenthesis to make people understand that being humble doesn't mean that you're not self-confident, or that you're not sure of yourself, or that sometimes you don't take a situation with charisma, with control, or that you are not sure of certain things when you have to fight about your position. No, you can do that. But being humble is the fact that you always know that you can get better. You can be better. You can be better. You can get better in doing this and doing this and doing that and that and that and that. I think that that's humility. And also, don't believe that you are that you are a god, because a lot of people that I know believe that, they take their being human a little bit too seriously. And they forget that we are just flesh and blood, and then one day we're gonna vanish. So
Yeah, when I think of feedback, I think of, so we have an intention, right? So let's say my intention is to, as an actor, let's say my intention is to, act powerfully to where it makes the audience cry. Whatever, it doesn't, whatever. So I have this intention, and there is our intention, and then there is our actual impact. And so, like, what actually did happen, what impact we had versus our intention. And oftentimes there's a gap between our intention and our impact, meaning what we hoped would happen and what actually happened, right? So that gap, once we close that gap and our intention and our impact become the same, that's when we have the maximum amount of traction. And the way that we close our gap between intention and impact is feedback. And feedback, we get the feedback of that didn't work and this is why, and we correct that thing, then we align our intention, our impact, and then we get the maximum effectiveness.
And we even may change system.
Well, we probably will change our system based on that feedback.
Yeah. Wow, I love the visual representation of that. I'm gonna use it as like a martial arts moment. It was so. Well, that's very interesting, Aaron. I mean, this was a great chat. We could go on forever. But I would call it right here. I mean, it's our first podcast. We had a great pleasure to talk together. I think that we analyzed a couple of things that I hope will be useful to people to just start to think about it, because that's what we want to try to achieve with this chat and with this, can say, reflections.
Yeah, sure.
In English.
Yeah.
And well, I thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Really.
Yeah.
It's a great pleasure, and I highly recommend everybody to read Aaron Anastasi books, Your Prosperous Mind, and The Voice of Your Dream. The Voice of Your Dream. That just from the title makes you understand a lot about it. The Voice of Your Dreams. If I have to finish this podcast with one little simple, let's say, motivational input, is that once you find your why, once you find a reason to do what you want to do, if you stick to the process, to the practical tips that Aaron and other life coaches like Aaron that they have, I mean, honestly, you can achieve whatever you want in life, no matter who you are, where you are, what you do, no matter what's your age, because sometimes the age is also a factor that stops us. It's happening to me now. Okay, I'm like almost 40, and I can't believe that I didn't do the things that I wanted to do back in the days. And every day I have to repeat myself, yeah, but dude, it's okay. Like, you can be 80 years old and still keep. I read recently about an old man that was, I think, 80 years old, that was starting a new career or a new business at 80 years old, and I was so inspired by it. I was like, why not? Why not? There's nothing that can stop us from this world. This life is a great gift. It's a gift. Time flies. Time flies so fast. It's a gift. It's so precious. I like to see life as a game. And sometimes people tell me, you're not serious sometimes. You're not taking life seriously. But what does it mean to take life seriously? That I cannot dream, that I cannot do what I want, that I cannot... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. In fact, in my books, I talk about this very thing. I think life is a game. And when we see that life is a game, we take it... It's not that we don't take it seriously in that, of course, people matter and all this stuff, all that. There is a seriousness about life, but it's not that serious. Things don't matter as much as we think they do. It's like, that's why, like, when we fail,
you just say something great. Thank you. Things don't matter as much as we think.
They just don't.
They do.
We get a redo every day. We get to wake up and we get a redo. God's mercies are new every day. We get a redo every day, and we just go at it again. It's not that serious.
But also every day, I also like why not trying to do what you really want and you desire? Why? Because you have this, because you have that, because you have... Yeah, but, man, as I said before, everything will soon vanish. into it, whether you're a believer, whether you're not a believer. This life is going to end sooner than we expect because time flies. So just enjoy it. It's like when I watch a soccer game, okay, in 90 minutes, they go like that, okay?
Yeah.
Let me enjoy those 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to enjoy them. I don't want to, I don't want to waste time not doing what I could have done in those 90 minutes to enjoy the game at the maximum. I want to play that game at my maximum strength, giving all myself. If I don't score, who cares? Sorry, I said watch the game. I intended to play the game.
Yeah.
I want to play that game at my maximum strength and possibilities. If I don't score, even if I lose, I go home happy if I gave 100%.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't do that.
Yeah.
And the difference between the people that make it, the people that is happy, the people that is successful, and the people that is sad, the people that is not happy, the people that has, something that always criticizing others, always being negative, is only in the practical, as you were saying, the practical things. You do it or you don't. Try to be happy. Try to be satisfied. Try to find the right motivations to push you to do the best to do the best you can do with the little time we have in our life. And I want to finish quoting Lord of the Rings because I'm a huge fan, if you guys can tell. Okay, there's only, I don't know how to quote it in English though. I know the Italian one. But I would say, we can only do the best we can with the times that is given to us. So let's do the best we can.
Yeah.
Huh? At least we try. That's all we can do. Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you very much, everybody. This is Riccardo Berdini. This is a Magic of the Mind. We hope you had a good time as much as we did, and we'll see you in the next episode.